Hello, fellow Zoom users or soon to be Zoom users. I wanted to share a few tips and tricks with you today about using Zoom. First of all, get a cup of coffee, sit back, take it easy. And we're going to share just a few tips and tricks about using Zoom. So I am going to share my screen with you to begin with and show you basically how I have my Zoom account set up, and you can feel free to do the same with yours. First of all, using this little button here, your little wheel, click on your settings for Zoom. So at the top, you see the general settings. These are pretty good as they are. You might want to change your reaction skin tone if that's something that's important to you. But let's look at the audio, if you will, the audio settings. So there's a couple things that we need to look at. The speakers that you will listen to the recordings or listen to the meetings. If you have different speakers, I have some Bluetooth speakers that I will use for mine, so I can go select that as opposed to just the built-in system speakers for my laptop. My microphone, I also have a USB microphone plugged in right now, or I can just use the embedded microphone that comes, with your laptop. So choose that, do a little testing. You can see my input level is pretty good. If I get closer to the mic, it gets really loud, I think. And if I step back, it probably is a little less. So you can test that before you even start your first meeting. Something else that I think we all should select is this option here, mute my microphone when joining a meeting. I think that's important for a couple reasons. One, if there's multiple people joining a meeting, it can be quite loud. The person who's really need to be speaking doesn't have control. They can't be heard. Let's just go ahead and set that to mute. You can real easily unmute that once you join a meeting. Next, I want to talk about video. The video part of it, you see me here. Here's in my screen as I'm talking. I have the built-in camera is my option. If you had a USB camera, you could choose that as well. You can mirror my video so I can turn me around. Now, my left hand is up, put that in there. My left hand is still up. So you can mirror your video if you wanted to do that. You can change the ratio of your screen. So as opposed to widescreen, maybe I want to put it in original ratio. That's up to you. You can play with that, but know that option is there. And lastly, what else do I have? Something here. Oh, turn on your participant names. Turn on your name. So when you join, people will know exactly your name and they can easily identify you if something was to happen with your video, let's say. Something else you might want to change, is a very customizable feature with Zoom, is to change your background. Right now this is what's behind me is my background. I'm sitting in my home office. I can change that background pretty easily just by that click right there. And it is automatically changed during the meeting. So you can change it several times, during a meeting if you'd like to. I like to use my Sand Springs store in eastern Montana as a backdrop. But we learned a couple things today while testing. Is I've got my coffee mug. My coffee mug works real good here in front of my face. But if I pull it out to the side, it did not disappear. It's there, but because of the background issues, it makes it disappear. Mug here, mug not here. Mug here, mug not here. So you might want to test this before you decide to use a virtual background. These changes are automatically saved, so I'm going ahead and close this out, and I'm going to stop sharing. I have a few others I want to share. When doing your video, you want to stay in frame. So I am in the middle of the frame as you're looking at my picture. You might not want to be too close. We don't want to see your nose hairs, or if you brushed your teeth today, which I did. Also, you want to look at the camera. I'm looking at the camera right now. I'm looking at myself right now. when I look at myself, you probably see me as looking down. But when I look at the camera, I actually look like I'm looking at you. My camera is posed right there on my laptop. So consider where you're sitting, where you are looking in the screen of the video. If I'm way over here, I might just come right off the screen. Or if I was to actually get up and walk away, well, this works okay, except for my chair's in front of me, so it blocks it, doesn't. So you can see my full body. If I was to give a speech, you probably could see this real well. I'm talking about things that are very high and lofty and things that are very low and dismal. But what you probably can't do is you can't hear me as well when I'm that far away. So you might want to think about a different microphone to use. You can use the built-in microphone that comes with your computer. I have an external microphone that I'm using right here today that you can't see, can you? I put it right here, you can see it. I'm using this microphone that is actually sitting right next to my laptop. You can also, it has an adjustable volume on it. You can also buy a USB headset that you might like to use, or a Bluetooth to pair, with your laptop. So you have several options there. I also want to talk about lighting. I'm sitting in here in my home office. There's a window right here to my left, and you see that light coming through my face. It's not critical, but it does show a little bit of a glare. My little slightly receding hairline also shows the reflection of a light that I have right here above me. If you can probably see the light, I have a light right here above me, and I can turn that off. And now that might be better, but now you see glare on my glasses coming from the computer. And if I get closer, it's even more noticeable, isn't it? So I choose to leave that on. It takes the glare off of my glasses slightly, but adds the shine back here. And of course, I still have the shine over here from the window, which is beside me. I could close that curtain. I could close those curtains to make it more to where I'm using just the light that's in front of me. These are all options. You don't have to use them, but you might want to consider it. The last thing is ambient noises. As I said here in my home office, there are dogs right outside that window, and those dogs will bark occasionally. My wife just texted on my cell phone. These are all things that we should consider when speaking. Go ahead and mute my phone just like I would in a normal meeting. I can't help the dogs. I can't help if somebody rings the doorbell or someone down the hall screams because they dropped a whatever, right? I can't control those things. There's certain things I can control, and we want to do our best. But when we are not speaking, the best practice is to go ahead and mute your audio, which is right down here on your screen as you're looking at this, or when you're looking at your Zoom meeting, put it that way. So those are just a few tips and tricks that I have learned so far. I have used Zoom meeting for a couple months now, not consistently, but I have used it some. In this new age we're thrust into with the virus and people staying at home, meeting online more, Zoom is one of those options that people will be using. And if you're using Zoom, I hope this video has been some help to you.